Greetings. So, this video is a little typically different. I recently did a home build or a custom build (parentheses exclamation marks). Um, excuse me. That with a Ryzen, I did a Ryzen 9 12 core CPU, and I've been waiting for this thing to come out probably for 6 months. Um, and I don't know why that just happened, but I've been waiting for this thing to come out for like 6 months. And what's interesting about it is that here you can see where it gives the overall temperature of 58 degrees. I am uploading a video. I recently redid my oil video, and so here you can see the cores kicking in and switching in and out. This 4850 is not accurate. I've Cinebenched this thing at 69. I had the memory configuration dialed in, but the issue is I was getting into the BIOS, and I was kind of trying to custom tune some of those BIOS settings, and it ultimately I went into a motherboard. I don't want to call it a motherboard crash, but a failure to boot is, I think, a better term. A motherboard failure to boot. So I had to reset those settings back to stock, and excuse me, I don't know, I have a little congestion. Set those motherboard settings back to stock. But what was weird though is I had a hard time getting my CPU voltage below 4, because the problem is whenever you get your CPU voltage above 4, I'm sorry, 1.4, above 1.4, you start generating an excessive amount of heat, and it can damage your CPU. And I'm running a Corsair 280 millimeter dual fan setup on this computer. I mean, it's got a massive radiator, and it's still running at 59 degrees Celsius. And so it's definitely, I did a bench test on Far Cry New Dawn just to see where it was at, and I'm also running a Radeon 7 graphics card. I've completely written off Green Team. That's NVIDIA. I've completely written them off, and I know that the 2080 Ti, is ultimately the best card, but I'm okay having a graphics card that's just a little bump down, and not having to put up with their driver BS and all their other applications. Plus, I feel like there's better synergy with the Radeon chipsets, and so but this is I got a M2 SSD hard drive in here, just a little 512. But I realize that doesn't have a whole lot to do, and this video is really about the CPU and the voltage. And the voltage is pretty good, but ultimately I feel like the temperature is a little hot. But I could just be a little over exaggerated, but I feel like the temperature is just a little too high. But the way to go on all of these is, I know in some of the videos they talked about presetting the some of the configurations on the motherboards, and really it comes down to the motherboard vendors. Gigabyte does a pretty good job. Just keep everything at auto, and just dial your RAM in separately. Use those BIOS or UEFI settings, and just get your your RAM configurations to be as accurate as possible. There's a few applications out there that kind of give you tools to pick out certain numbers that you're going to need to update your BIOS, and that'll help significantly. I noticed almost a 200 point bump in Cinebench when I dialed that RAM in. It just was more responsive. It was a quicker, more responsive, snappier flow as you move through menus and you open up browsers. I could tell a big difference. And so, but here's just, I guess it's kind of a showcase. And then also I'm going to send this video to a couple of YouTubers that I watch pretty regularly, about voltage regulation, voltage numbers. Like this is actually doing pretty good, but I've seen this thing run at 1.46, 1.47, and it was like, man. So I spent half the day trying to get this number to where it was dialed in, and ultimately I just had to roll everything back to auto. Um, and when I would try to undervolt it to keep it at that like 1.37 or 1.35, I noticed that my Cinebench it dived. It went down to it went from almost 7 to 5 on my Cinebench rating, even though it did run cooler on the temperatures. Like right now, this thing's humming along, and I'm not really running any applications. I got this thing open, but it's not. It's like I'm running at 65. So let me start closing. I don't know what's eating up. Just close out Steam, right? And then minimize this. But this shouldn't be running this hot. Um, close GAMP, right? Cancel. I think I saved this, right? And then why am I running at 60 degrees? I feel like that's too hot. There's a lot of application stuff going on in the background. Let me close this out. Save. Right. Okay. Save. Remind me later. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what all the CPU usage is, but you can see the cores just fire in and out. And there's a game setting in here um, that does that basically locks the 4 cores out. I mean, it locks it into 8 cores. And I did a Cinebench on this thing, and you want to talk about the temp? Woo, the temp was like maxed out. Uh, and so it ran better. I noticed it ran better at it, just letting it do its auto tasking, I think is the correct word for it, where it picks cycles through the different applications. And but yeah, the temp, for whatever reason, and it just could be because it's a beast. But when I fill the case, it's not warm. When I fill the fan behind it, it's nice and cool. And I got not only do I have that massive Raider, but I got a couple other really good fans, and I ordered 2 more 140 fans that I'm gonna put on the top to blow down. Because right now I just have the 120, and hopefully that'll more airflow circulation. So you can see that temp coming down just a little bit. But yeah, just to look kind of a little showcase video, a little kind of technical aspect. Yeah, thanks for watching.